Your mind is the real battlefield, and most people never even realize they are fighting a war. Every single day, thoughts are trying to influence the direction of your life. Some of them push you forward, while others try to pull you back into fear, doubt, and limitation. The truth is, your external circumstances are only a reflection of the internal conversations you've been having with yourself for years. Change those conversations, and everything around you begins to shift. From the moment you wake up in the morning, your mind is already deciding the quality of your day. Before you even get out of bed, thoughts are forming like, it's going to be a long day, or I'm already tired, or I'm not ready for this. Those tiny phrases seem harmless, but they are powerful commands that shape your attitude and energy before the day even begins. The mind obeys whatever you tell it with the most emotion and consistency. Every belief you carry right now started as a single thought that you repeated enough times until it became your truth. Someone may have told you that you weren't smart enough or talented enough when you were young, and without realizing it, you adopted that as a permanent identity. Those beliefs became walls around your potential, and you didn't even know they were there. Your thoughts built a prison, and you've been living inside it unknowingly. The most dangerous limitations are the ones you don't even question. You assume they are facts. You assume they are reality, when in truth, they are only patterns that can be replaced. That's why the renewal of your mind is the most important work you will ever do. You can't change your life by only changing what's around you. You must first change what's within you. Every excuse you make is powered by a belief. Every fear has a voice attached to it. And every failure that continues to repeat itself is a sign that the same thinking is producing the same results. If you want a new life, you need new thoughts. You need the type of mental conditioning that empowers your future instead of protecting your past. Your mind will either expand to fit your vision or shrink your vision to match your doubt. It is constantly calculating what you deserve based on what you repeatedly tell yourself. When you say, I can't, your mind shuts the door. When you say, I will, your mind starts searching for solutions. The language you use becomes the blueprint for your reality. This battle is invisible, but its results are not. You can see the consequences of defeated thinking in someone's posture, their decisions, their habits, and their results. You can see the consequences of empowered thinking in their energy, their confidence, their progress, and the way opportunities seem to open for them. Nothing changes externally until everything changes internally. Most people lose the battle because they surrender authority over their thoughts. They allow fear to dominate their imagination. They let society, negativity, and past failures narrate their story. But you have the power to choose your thoughts, just like you choose what clothes to wear. Every moment is a decision. Will you think like a victim or like a victor? Once you decide to take control of your mind, you begin to notice how quickly your life responds. Confidence grows, clarity increases, momentum builds. You stop blaming circumstances and start designing them. You stop reacting and start creating. You begin to understand that success isn't something you chase. It's something you think into existence. And that is why the battle in your mind matters more than any obstacle outside of you. The world reflects who you believe you are on the inside. When you master your thoughts, you master your life. You cannot rise above the identity you accept as your truth. Your results in life are not random. They are the byproduct of who you believe yourself to be at the deepest level. If you see yourself as someone who always struggles, You will unconsciously make decisions that keep you struggling. If you see yourself as someone who succeeds, you will gravitate toward actions that lead to success. Your identity silently creates the rules you live by, and most people spend their lives obeying limitations they never chose consciously. Identity is powerful because it determines what feels normal to you. If being broke feels normal, wealth will feel uncomfortable. If doubt feels normal, confidence will feel fake. Many people are not held back by obstacles, but by a self-image that refuses to grow. They dream of a bigger life while holding onto a smaller version of themselves, and that internal conflict keeps them stuck in the same place year after year. The beliefs you accept about yourself shape your expectations, and your expectations shape your behavior. For example, if you truly believe you're destined for greatness, you won't give up after a setback. You will keep going because quitting contradicts your identity. On the other hand, if you believe failure defines you, one setback will be enough to convince you that you're not capable of more. The difference is never the challenge. It's the belief behind the effort. Your identity chooses the opportunities you allow yourself to pursue. Two people can be presented with the same door of opportunity. One sees it as an invitation to rise. The other sees it as proof they don't belong. The door didn't change. Their identity did. When you upgrade your identity, doors that once looked intimidating now look like stepping stones. Everything you say about yourself reinforces who you are becoming. The words, "I am," are two of the most powerful words you will ever speak, because whatever follows them shapes your identity. If you repeatedly tell yourself, "I'm not enough," your actions will align with that belief. But if you start declaring, "I am capable," your mind will begin searching for evidence to support it. Your identity responds to the language you use daily. The mind loves consistency, so it will always try to keep your actions aligned with your current identity. This is why people sabotage themselves, not because they're weak, but because their actions are trying to stay loyal to a belief about who they are. It's not failure holding them back, it's familiarity. They would rather stay where it feels comfortable than grow into a person they have not yet accepted as themselves. Identity is built through repetition. The more you behave like a certain type of person, the more you become that person. Success is not a moment. It is a pattern formed by daily choices. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you cast a vote for the identity of a warrior. Every time you choose courage over fear, you cast a vote for the identity of a champion. Those votes accumulate until the old identity can no longer survive. If you want to transform your life, you must be willing to release every version of yourself that keeps you small. You cannot cling to doubt and hold greatness at the same time. You cannot walk into your future while dragging the weight of your past identity behind you. There comes a moment where you must decide that the person you've been is no longer the person you're willing to be. The identity you create determines the direction of your life. When you change how you see yourself, you naturally change what you tolerate. You stop settling for less. You stop accepting excuses. You raise your standards not because someone told you to, but because your identity demands excellence. You start expecting more from yourself, and the world responds accordingly. Your life expands the moment your identity does. The limits you thought were permanent reveal themselves as beliefs you outgrew. You realize that the gap between where you are and where you want to be is not filled with luck. It's filled with a stronger identity. When you believe bigger, you become bigger. When you become bigger, everything around you begins to rise with you. Consistent self Affirmation is not just a motivational exercise, it is mental training that reinforces the foundation of who you are becoming. Most people spend their lives repeating negative stories about themselves, not realizing that those words are programming their minds for limitations. When you speak to yourself with confidence and conviction, you are planting seeds that will grow into the results you desire. Every declaration you make is a message to your future, shaping what becomes possible for you. You don't attract what you hope for, you attract what you believe. And belief is built through repetition. The more often you tell yourself something, the more your mind accepts it as the truth. When you declare that you are strong, your mind looks for reasons to support that strength. When you declare success, your mind begins strategizing paths toward it. Affirmations are not about pretending, they are about practicing your new reality until it becomes familiar. There is a voice inside of you that has been conditioned by fear, insecurity, and past experiences. That voice whispers that you shouldn't try, that you might fail, that you're not ready, that other people are better than you. If you allow that voice to go unchallenged, it will dominate your actions and your decisions. Affirmations are the force that confronts and replaces its lies with truth. They give your stronger self the microphone. Every time you affirm something positive about yourself, you are reinforcing a new identity. You are teaching your mind to see you differently. You are shifting from seeing yourself as a victim of circumstances to the creator of outcomes. Self-affirmation tells your subconscious where your life is headed, and your subconscious responds by aligning your behavior with that direction. Most people want transformation without transformation of language. But your words create mental pictures, and those pictures influence how you feel and what you do. When you say, I can't, you feel powerless. When you say, I will, you feel energized. The right words elevate your vibration, strengthen your confidence, and prepare your mind to take bold action. The wrong words destroy progress before it even begins. Self-affirmation is not meant to be recited casually, it must be declared boldly and consistently. Your mind pays attention to frequency and emotion. The statements you repeat with passion are the ones that take root the deepest. When you speak as if what you desire is already reality, your brain adapts to bridge the gap between belief and experience. The more you affirm, the more you align. You may not feel powerful the first time you speak powerful words. Your identity might resist. Your doubts might argue. Your fears might shout louder. But each repetition weakens the grip of old programming. Little by little, the negative narratives that once controlled your actions begin to fade, and a new belief system emerges that gives you permission to pursue greatness without apology. There is a transformation that happens internally long before it shows up externally. Affirmations are the internal construction work, building your mindset into the structure strong enough to hold success. If you skip this step, the moment pressure comes, fear cracks the foundation and everything collapses. But when your belief has been built through consistent affirmation, storms can come and you will still rise. Self-affirmation is an act of ownership. It is you declaring that you refuse to be controlled by old patterns or old versions of yourself. It is the moment where you become intentional about who you choose to be rather than accepting whatever life tries to label you as. It is personal leadership in its purest form, leading your thoughts before they lead you. Every word you speak is either building your future or destroying it. Consistent self-affirmation gives you the power to design who you are and what you will become. When you speak life over yourself every day, you activate belief. And when belief grows stronger than doubt, Your actions begin to reflect the greatness that has been inside you all along. Acting like the person you want to become is the bridge between who you are and who you know you're destined to be. Most people wait for the transformation to show up on the outside before they change how they behave on the inside. But the truth is, change doesn't start with results. It starts with decisions. When you behave in alignment with your future identity, your life begins to move in that direction automatically because your actions are casting votes for the person you are becoming. The future version of you is already successful in thought, in discipline, and in behavior. They don't negotiate with excuses, and they don't let temporary emotions override long-term goals. When you start making choices that match that level of identity, you pull your future into your present. Even if you're not there yet, the moment you act like you belong, the world begins to treat you accordingly. Too often, people say, I'll start when I feel ready. But readiness comes after action, not before it. Your feelings cannot lead you. Feelings are unreliable, but decisions create momentum. If you act like the person you aspire to be long enough, those actions become your new normal. What once felt uncomfortable becomes automatic. You are rewriting your default settings through daily alignment. Every day presents a choice. Do you act like your past or like your potential? One choice keeps you confined to familiar limits. The other forces growth. When you choose habits that reflect the best version of yourself, reading instead of scrolling, investing instead of wasting, speaking confidence instead of doubt, those choices accumulate into noticeable transformation. Success is a lifestyle before it is a result. Acting like the future you means making sacrifices the current you might resist. It means waking up earlier, working harder, thinking smarter, believing deeper. It means saying no to distraction so you can say yes to destiny. The person you want to become doesn't have time for everything. They prioritize what matters most. Growth requires discipline, not desire. You must also carry yourself differently. The way you walk into a room, the way you speak about your goals, the way you honor your own standards, all of it signals to your mind that you are stepping into a higher level of existence. Confidence is not something you wait for, it's something you wear. When you carry yourself like a leader, you begin attracting leadership opportunities. When you act like the greater version of yourself, your environment responds. New people enter your life, new opportunities appear, and new ideas flow. It's not luck, it's alignment. Greatness recognizes greatness even in the making. The moment you align your behavior with who you are becoming, you stop chasing success and start attracting it. There will be uncomfortable moments along the journey because growth requires leaving behind what no longer fits. The habits that once protected your comfort can no longer serve your future. Transformation demands shedding the old identity that kept you small. And every time you resist the temptation to shrink, you step deeper into who you were designed to be. Acting like the person you want to be